Hello students, our first topic is the evolution of computers, class 7th hands-on book. In this topic, we understand the evolution of computers from a big machine to a small laptop or mobile. So here first we enjoy the story, then we go to the main topic. So here you can see some pictures are given that how human evolved from ape like ancestors to a man. So in story there are two friends, Tobo and Dobo, and they are attending history class. In history class the teacher explained the early ages of human development like Paleolithic age, Mesolithic age and Neolithic age. She recalls how human being evolved as you learned in class 5th chapter early man. So history period ends, and after history period the next period is computer period. And Tobo and Dobo kept wondering about the evolution of man from ape-like ancestors, or we can say that how man evolved from a monkey to a human. So in class, when computer teacher saw Tobo and Dobo that they are thinking something, so he asked Tobo, what you are thinking about? Then Tobo says, our history teacher just told us about human evolution. I am thinking how computer evolved. Okay, very good. So here you can see the picture of Tobo that he thinking that evolution and question mark and human versus computer. So when Tobo says our history teacher just told me about human evolution, I am thinking about how computer evolved. All students of the class laughed. A partial computer is thinking about its evolution. Teacher says many inventors contributed to the evolution of computers. So he give the definition of computer that a computer is a complex piece of machinery made up of many parts, each of which can be considered a separate invention. Okay, there a computer have many parts like its monitor, its printer, its keyboard, its mouse, and inside the CPU there are also many more parts like motherboard. So inside the CPU there are many more parts like motherboard and SMPS fan, RAM, ROM. So each we have considered as separate instances. So teacher says then okay, let me talk about evolution of computers. So here, do you know that Charles Babbage is known as the father of the computing? So note this point that Charles Babbage, an English mathematician in 19th century, designed a machine called analytical engine, and our current computer's framework is based on that analytical engine. So a computer had its beginning on 19th century when English mathematics professor named Charles Babbage designed analytical engine. It is on this design that the basic framework of the computers of today are based on. So Dobo says like train engine. Obviously he confused that just like analytical engine, so engine word he heard in train, so he says Dobo wondered and says train engine. So teacher says no, not train. Watch this video and you will find out what an analytical engine. So for analytical engine history we have to watch video. Let's see where the link is given. Okay, here the link is given. We are trying to open this, so we will show you. Okay, here the link is open and the video is given. Let's open this video.
Hello, my name is Adam, and I'd like to take you on a tour of the history of computers. Computers can seem so futuristic. However, they have a very, very old history. And the reason the history is so old is because human beings have been counting for tens of thousands of years. And even as long ago as 4,000 years ago, we first started making machines to help us count and help us to remember the answers
I will
to the
send this link to you separately so you can watch the whole video. Let's come to book. So here Dobo said train engine, so teacher says no, not train. Watch this video and you will find out what an analytical engine. So in this video we watch the design of analytical engine. So after some activities, the first calculating device, that watch the video carefully and answer the question that follows. So you have to watch that video and fill up these question answer. I will send the link of video. Watch that video and fill this. Then our generation of computer starts. So teacher says depending on that time period in which the computers were used and their operation, they are divided into different generations. Then Dobo again asks what are generations. So teacher says like we have different generations like our grandparents, parents, children at home. Depending on our age, or the year in which we are born, in the same way we classify computers into 5 different generations. So teacher said to Dobo about generations by comparing grandparents, then parents, children according to their age difference. Then some activity is given. So trace your ancestral generations. So you have to fill this also in second activity about your generation. Great grandfather name, great grandfather name, sorry, 3 time great grandfather name, 2 time great grandfather name, then great grandfather, then grandfather, then father, then yourself, and you have to mention the name in this. Let's watch a PPT and link is given. So teacher, so I will also send you the link of this PPT. So open and watch that PPT also. So teacher said, have you seen the early mobile phone, the first mobile phone? Dobo says no. So here the picture is given of earliest mobile phone like 1999. We can see the design of phone Then in 2000 the design of phone was changed. Then 2008 it is like a smartphone with keypad and screen both, and screen is colorful. In 2010 there is only screen and keyboard is inside the screen. In 2012 2016, so we can understand that how mobile was evolved from 1999 to 2016 through these pictures. Let's see the different generations of mobile phones. I have some photos with me. So earliest mobile phone was simple phone, bulky with only calling features. So there are not any extra feature. We can call and send SMS only. Then the screen was also very small and there was no camera in it. So very important feature that we found in each and every mobile in our generation or in our age group. So earliest mobile phone was very simple phone, bulky with only calling feature. The screen was also very small and no camera in it. Second, gradually more features were added in the upcoming phones. Every new model of phone had better features than the previous ones. So, have you seen your father's smartphone? Teacher asks. Then Dovo says, yes, it has a number of features like camera, internet, video recording, number of apps, etc. It is like mini computer in our hand. Then teacher says, I hope now you understand how today's smartphone evolved from the first mobile phone. In the same way, each of the 5 generations of computer is characterized by major technological development that fundamentally changed the way computers operate. Most developments resulted in computers becoming increasingly smaller. Okay, as we come from early age of computers to the modern age of computers, we found then they are going to be smaller. Second point, cheaper. Third point, powerful, more powerful. And fourth point, efficient computing devices. So just like we refine ourselves every day by learning experiences, computers were also refined in terms of hardware and software in every generation. So here we are going to learn about all the 5 generations. So we will see that each and every generation there are some innovations in hardware and software both field. So according to the invention, we can categorize our computers generation into 5 parts. The very first generation starts from 1940 to 1956 and it is known as the generation of vacuum tubes. So we can see the picture of vacuum tube here. So the generation period is from 1940 to 1956 and at that time the hardware characteristics are vacuum tubes, magnetic drums for memory, input on punch card and paper tape, output on printouts. So we can see there are 4 points. So let's understand all 4 points. The very first point is vacuum tubes. So vacuum tubes were used for processing the data. Second, magnetic drums, that is used for storing the memory, just like our memory card or hard disk on the computer. At that time magnetic drums were used. Third point, input on punch cards and paper tape. At present time we input through keyboard, but at that time input on punch card and paper tape and outputs come on printouts on hard copy. But at present time we take outputs on our monitor. Software, so machine language were used. Machine language means 0 and 1. Computer only understand 0 and 1. 0 means no and 1 means yes. So the whole calculation of the processing done through that 0 1 machine language. So but we can done our work, we can do our work by our own English, simple English language or Hindi language. So there is an assembler who convert our assembler, interpreter and compiler. There are 3 language processors who convert our language into machine language so that machine can understand, and that machine reply result in machine language. Then these interpreter, compiler or translators convert or translate that from machine language to high level language or human understandable language. We will learn about the language processors in next chapters. Then second point is solve only one problem at a time. So as we can see that at present time there are in every computer we can solve multiple problem at a time, but at first generation the computer can not solve more than one problem at a time. Next point, that mostly scientific applications, so mostly used for scientists, so the applications run on that computer are based on scientific. Other features, bulky in size means very big, highly unreliable. We also unreliable means we cannot believe on them. Then limited commercial use and costly, so very less commercial use and very much cost of that computer, so it is not possible for everyone to purchase that computer and complete his work. Or the next point is difficult commercial production, because of the size is so big and it takes lots of electricity, so it is difficult to do production in commercial places. The next point is difficult to use, so using these computers are very difficult because they can't understand high level language or human understandable language. They only understand machine language 0 and 1. So whatever we can do with that computers, that only we can give commands in machine language, and that after processing the answer is also coming in machine language, so we won't have to convert that machine language result into our human understandable language. Let's see some pictures of that. So let's see some pictures of first generation computers. This is the image of first generation computer. You can see lots of vacuum tubes were used. For processing the data. Then the next image is about the generation that you can see here. First generation vacuum tubes, second generation transistors, third generation ICs, fourth generation microprocessors, fifth generation artificial intelligence, and then sixth generation. Images are also related to that generation given in this picture. Next, here we can also see the first generation computer that was very big. Then the second generation computer can possible to operate through a big table. Then third generation computer can possible to operate through a small table. Then fourth generation computer is also more smaller than. Then fifth generation computer that with the artificial intelligence. We can see some more pictures related to generation. That this was the third generation computer. This is IC there are lots of transistors in this IC, so data processing is more easy. Then here, this is the first generation computer. You can see the size of computer, the wires for processing and other work. Then next picture is also related to first generation. Commands are to be given in machine language only. This is the computer of second generation. Second generation transistor were used, and here we can see the image of transistor. So lots of transistors were used in computers for processing data. Now let's come to the next topic. The UNIVAC and ENIAC computers are example of the first generation computing devices. So note, ENIAC was the very first computer and the UNIVAC was the first commercial computer delivered to a business client. The US Census Bureau in 1951. So both points are very important. Note this point, and question are also always arised from these 2 points, that give the example of first generation computer, or who was the first commercial computer. Then the second generation computer. So the generation period of second generation is 1956 to 1963. In second generation computer, transistors were used, magnetic core used for memory. In first generation, if we compare, then we found that we used magnetic drums for storing memory. Then magnetic tapes used for input and disk for secondary storage. The software characteristics: batch processing system means we can process more than one statement or one command. Then assembly language was invented. Assembly language and machine language. So assembly language, a software application used assembler. Assembler is used to translate that assembly language into machine language. So whenever we give command in assembly language, the assembler convert it to machine language, and CPU can done his work in machine language and also reply the output through machine language, but assembler again convert that machine language into assembly language, and the output is in human understandable form, come through the comms. So assembly language were used, so it was very easy. Or comparing to the first generation of computer, there are lots of many benefits in this way. The high level programming language developed, and the fourth point is scientific and commercial applications were developed and used in these computers. Other features, then it is faster, smaller and more reliable than the first generation computer, easier to program than previous generation computers. Commercial production was still difficult and costly. Let's understand what is an IC. That was the identification of the third generation. An integrated circuit is a small electronic device made out of a semiconductor metal. The first IC was developed in 1950s by Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce. So in third generation computer we can see the picture of IC and the picture of PC. Let's see the in that generation period. Third generation period started from 1964 to 1971. And what are the hardware characteristics of this computer or this generation? That ICs with SSI and MSI technologies. Okay, let's understand what is SSI and MSI. IC means integrated circuits and SSI means small scale integration and MSI means medium scale integration technologies. It means there are hundreds and thousands of transistors are used in these ICs. Then larger magnetic cores memories for processing. The memories are larger but still magnetic core. Larger capability disks and magnetic tapes secondary storage. Then mini computers, upwards compatible family of computers. So another new point of the third generation, that mini computers starts in the workplaces. Then software characteristics, time sharing operating system. Time sharing operating system means we can do multiple work in a single time, or we can share the time of computer into multiple works or options. Then unbundling of software from hardware. Other features that these are faster, smaller, more reliable, easier and cheaper to produce. Commercially easier to use and easier to upgrade than previous generation systems. The third point is scientific, commercial and interactive online applications. So here's some thing given that let's solve this online, that computer history quiz. So through this link we will give all the links in the description of these videos. You must go through these description and these links and find out computer history quiz, computer history jigsaw puzzle. Then fourth generation of computer from 1972 to 2010. The most important generation of computer, where computers came from a big machine to a smartphone. We can see the picture of microprocessor. Then the fourth generation PC peak also. There are lots of inventions come and lots of development in this generation. So the fourth generation is from 1972 to 2010. And hardware characteristics are microprocessors, semiconductor memory. Then larger capability hard disk as in built-in secondary storage. Personal computers are came in the form in this generation. Before this generation, PCs are not came in the form. Then supercomputers based on multi-processing technologies. So supercomputers also invented in the fourth generation. Spread of high speed computer networks. So internet is also came in this fourth generation. In 1991, Tim Berners-Lee, the name of that professor. Then larger capacity main memory hard disks, optical disks as portable read-only storage media, notebooks, powerful desktop PCs and workstations, then internet. These are the hardware part of fourth generation. Then let's see what development came in software. Before the fourth generation, all computers are based on CUI operating system or without operating system. So in third generation we used CUI operating systems where we can interact with our computer through only characters. So CUI means character user interface operating system. But after third generation, the most important development of fourth generation is GUI based operating system. Means before fourth generation, in third generation we use DOS operating system, that is this operating system based on character user interface. But in fourth generation, the graphical user interface based operating systems are came. Then multiprocessing operating system, then object oriented design and programming, network based and supercomputing applications, multi-threading, distributed operating system, parallel programming, Java, World Wide Web, WWW, multimedia, internet applications, and more complex supercomputing applications are came into form in this fourth generation. Let's see other features are that computers are with when we compare the computer from the generation before fourth generation. So it was small, affordable, reliable, and easy to use PCs, general purpose machines, easier to produce commercially. So production was very easy comparing to the back generations. Easier to upgrade, rapid software development possible, portable computers means laptops, powerful, cheaper, reliable, and easier to use desktop machines, powerful supercomputers, easier to produce commercially and easier to upgrade also. Rapid software development possible means we can develop software rapidly. Then let's see the fifth generation computer, that is present and the beyond. That is based on artificial intelligence. The generation period present and beyond, and hardware parts include superconductors, powerful servers, supercomputers, interspace cluster computing, and software include natural language input. As we can see that we need not to type each and every time when we have to search anything or open any website. Through only voice command we can done lots of work. So and our command can be given through any language. So because of the artificial intelligence, the operating system can identify the language and the meaning of language and done the work or process the output according to our question in the same language the question was asked. Then next other features, so voice recognition, so computer can recognize your voice and your words. Then capable of learning and self organization. So with the help of artificial intelligence, computer can learn itself and organize itself according to the new learning. Then let's see activities. So watch the video generation of computer to understand more about different. So this is a different link. I will also paste this link in description. And questionnaire based on video, that which generation of computer use vacuum tubes. So obviously first generation. Which generation of computer use transistor? So this was the second generation. In which generation high level language were developed? That this is also second generation. Which generation of computer used integrated circuit? The third generation. Which generation of computer used microprocessor? So this was the fourth generation. And name a few devices in your home which uses computer. So we can say our smart TV, our computer, our washing machine, and lots of devices which have small chips are uses computer. So list the unique hardware and software characteristics of each generation. First, second, third, fourth. So evolution of hardware, evolution of software. So after watching the video, you have to fill these blanks. This video and the videos provided through the links. The next topic is Tobo asks, what is the future of technology? Okay, you ask from the teacher that in nowadays what is the future of technology. So teacher says tech trends. So when Tobo asks what is the future of technology, teacher says tech trends. So Tobo again asks, what is that, ma'am? So teachers describe that tech trends, that these are the new technologies that are currently developing or will be developed over the next 5 to 10 years. They are the technological trends that are innovating in the digital era, like robotics, wearable devices just like smartwatch and smart eyeglass and others. Then tech tats which attach to the skin like a temporary tattoo. Then mind reading machines who can read your mind and understand according to your behavior that what you want actually. Then virtual reality or virtual world, artificial intelligence, then big data oblique cloud computing, then Wi-Fi, then wireless charging standards, then technological advancement in rural areas. The next activity is who am I activity. In this activity, divide the class into 5 groups. Let each group be assigned one generation of computer. Each group will tell you 2 or more of the generation, and the other groups will identify that generation. Okay, very good. We will do this activity in our WhatsApp group. Then assessment activity. Assign one topic from the last given above each team. They will collect information and pictures on the allotted topic and will present the revolutionary idea which can radically transform our day-to-day life and explain its feature to the class using OpenIFE Citer. Okay. Also do this activity after opening the school. Now let's learn some more things. Again repeat the whole chapter. From WhatsApp and the generation of first generation of, let's see, first generation 1940 to 1956, and again was the pics of vacuum tubes. The first generation of computers used vacuum tubes as a major piece of technology. Vacuum tubes were widely used in computers from 1940 to 1956 for larger components, take larger size, and lots of things also given in this. The ENIAC is the greatest example of first generation computer. It consisted of nearly 20,000 vacuum tubes. Okay, you can visualize that how much size of that computer who have 20,000 vacuum tubes, as well as 10,000 capacitor and 7,000 registers. It weighed over 30 tons and took up a lot of space, requiring a large room to house it, and also generate lots of heat. It's everything about ENIAC, the first generation computer. The same thing written in this page also. The second generation computer, look at the transistors. Whenever you watch any chip, you also watch this type of small devices widely used in computers 56 to 63, smaller than vacuum tubes and allows computer to be smaller in size, faster in speed and cheaper to build. Second generation computers are IBM 7070, Philco Transact S1000 and RCA 501. The third generation computer user of IC, integrated circuits. You can see the integrated circuits, and whenever you watch motherboard, you also watch lots of the period of 1965 to 1971, and the computers of third generation uses integrated circuits in place of transistors. A single IC has many transistors, resistors and capacitors along with the associated circuitry. Languages are Fortran 2 to 4 and COBOL, Pascal, PL, Basic, Algol were used during this generation. After third generation, fourth generation, this is the microprocessor, peak of microprocessor used in computers. The fifth generation computer with artificial intelligence and robotics. Thank you.